Okay, before we venture into the first obstacle, just a reminder of what we looked at during training. Driving up and down hills can be tricky because of a few factors. Number one, gravity. Number two, the gradient that we have to approach the uphill at, as well as the terrain and the surface that we can be driving on. And then the last thing that plays a role would be the weather. So are we having dry conditions, wet conditions? Day like today, it's dry, so we're going to experience dusty and loose gravel rather than wet and slippery terrain. But going up at the angle, there's those factors that will determine if we're going to have traction or not, because traction and the maximum traction is what we need. When we look at driving uphill, we're going to take the following in consideration. First thing, four-wheel drive need to be engaged, so we're going to be in 4 low and preferably starting in first gear if you are driving a manual vehicle. If you're driving an automatic vehicle, then we're going to be in drive for today. Now that's the first thing that we're going to check on the vehicle, is that we've got the right selection going. Now the following is important. As we discussed, we're going to always be driving as slow as possible, but as fast as necessary. We have to maintain momentum. The crucial factor at this stage is that we don't want to stop or slow down or change gears during the obstacle. So going uphill, we don't want to change gears. And remember, we said we're not going to use the clutch or the brake while we're in the obstacle. And like we said, the clutch is going to be letting your vehicle run away, and obviously on an automatic vehicle there's no clutch in play, but we're not going to use the brake. The brake becomes the panic button. So no brake, no clutch. When we're in the obstacle, we're going to have a look and address again the factor that if we stall the vehicle or we get bogged up or bogged down or something happens, that we're not going to be able to drive and continue driving. Okay, so let's move over to the vehicle where we can quickly set all the settings to the right application. I have engaged 4 low. As per safety aspect, I'm putting on my safety belt and I'm gonna go into drive on this vehicle because it's the automatic vehicle. Our first incline is in front of me and I'm gonna approach it nice and slow. All the indicators on the dashboard is telling me that my wheels are engaged, and I'm just approaching this as a slow crawl speed, no brake, just slowly approaching the incline. I'm going to maintain momentum, so for this incline and gradient I'm going to assist a little bit with the accelerator just to keep the momentum going. And remember, we're going to use downhill assist. Once I get to the bottom, I can stop the vehicle. I got the privilege of doing that, just slow it down, and then without brake I'm going to approach the downhill. We are selected in 4 low. This is the manual Karoo, so I'm going to select first gear at this stage, low range, 4x4, all 4 wheels are locked, and I'm going to approach the uphill, the incline, in crawl speed, as slow as possible but as fast as necessary. Very important to remember at this stage, we're not going to use the brake and the clutch while driving into or through the obstacle. And if there's anything that feels slightly off, we can assist with the brake to get the wheels turning. No braking, no clutch. Other than with the automatic vehicle, we cannot at this stage do anything but let the vehicle go down using engine compression braking. I approach the second incline, same at crawl speed, and once again this vehicle's breakover angle is of such nature that we will not be bogging up. Dominic is going to approach the next incline with the automatic Karoo, and slow as possible. As long as the wheels are turning, the vehicle will be under his control, and he's going to go up and over the crest and start going downhill. Remember, 4 car lengths, you can. And the next incline is ahead of me. All systems go. I'm still in 4-wheel drive low range, and Dominic is about 3 car lengths in front of me with Dawn, approaching this with the same attitude as the previous one, nice and slow, wheels turning, crawl speed only, just a little assistance to get over the top, and we're ready for the downhill. The incline is going to take us into a decline, and we keep on approaching the next obstacle. Next obstacle is going to be Braveheart Mountain. Myself and Dominic is just going uphill quickly by foot to see what the terrain looks like and what is waiting for us on the other end. This is important that we know where we're going, because if one of the other vehicles had a problem in the pit, I can't come over the crest and approach him while he's down there. And Dominic showed out there's a stone that might cause tire damage, so when driving through here we're going to try to avoid it. And that's it, just that we can have a look what it looks like. Total capable of driving this. We're just going to go into doing exactly the same. Slow approach, keep the wheels going, and no brake when going. We're approaching Braveheart Mountain, the obstacle we've just walked. Dominic is about 3.5 car lengths in front of me. We're just doing a slow crawl speed approach, and at this stage, unless there's any signal that there's a problem, I will be approaching him following him from behind, and then also negotiate the same obstacle once he has exit on the other end. So I will give him just a spare minute to get through the obstacle before I approach, and I'm going to keep an eye to see that he exits on the other end, and the moment I see him exit that side, I will approach the obstacle as well and follow through on it. Okay, Dominic is exiting the other side of Braveheart Mountain, and once again I'm driving currently in the manual Karoo, so a slow, no throttle approach, and just by crawl speed, no accelerator. I'm just going to climb up the hill. I'm just looking out the window to make sure I've got a fine approach, and no brake, no clutch, just momentum braking, engine compression braking, and let the wheels turn. Is approaching mother now with the Dawn Bucky, the manual, Herstel, the automatic, and he's going to come into the first incline and decline to approach mother, which is currently the most difficult incline we're going to drive. It's the uphill with the loosest gravel, and it's important to maintain momentum and to keep on driving to get to the top. Okay, Dominic, well done. Keep on driving a bit to the left. Keep on driving. Keep on driving. Keep on driving. ELS kicked in, and a little to the right, and down the other end. Excellent. I'm approaching the last incline on the track at the moment. I'm driving the manual pickup. I'm in first gear, low range, 4-wheel drive, slowly up. The scary part of the incline is when you lose sight of what is ahead of you, because you can't see the road anymore. It's only blue skies, and I'm going to approach this as slow as possible, but keep the momentum going. And at this stage we've been getting over all the incline decline sections without hassle with the Karoo and the Dawn Bucky, and once again no brake, no. The next up the embankment is Flip. He's going to come up the embankment for us the same route that I came up, just driving up continuously, bringing it up the slope. That's it, and easy as pie. Let me just get out of his way, and he must just continue driving and up to the top. And the only thing that you can do is make the wheels run all the way. Don't allow the car to slip away from you. And now the other end of this, downhill assist is on. Just need to negotiate this down slope nice and slowly, keeping keeping the wheels as straight as possible, going down without having not creating any slide movement, because it's only the sliding that can cause the vehicle to get out of control. And currently this is going well enough, and we need to negotiate very slowly because of the step on this rock, that we don't have any issues with our tow bar coming down the slope. And at the bottom, got a combination of a nice hill climb, but with cross axle sections where there's going to be a lot of traction loss and a lot of wheel spins and a lot of lift. Flip is currently coming uphill for us for low, with his front wheels locked as well automatically, and it's negotiating each of those. Now currently we're going to use this. There we could see the ELS, electronic locking system, kicking in as he loses traction. 100 RPM, spin more than another wheel, and the ELS will kick in and bring the vehicle through the obstacle. And a lot of action there, wonderful lifting, and as we expected, the vehicle did it with ease. No hassles, as long as you allow the car to do the work. We're approaching another incline. I'm going to go into a smaller ditch, and once I get out the other end, there's a bigger incline waiting for us. And As usual, we're doing it in low range. First gear, going over the first crest. Breakover has been tested, so we will clear over. Downhill assist is on. We're going slowly, but what we want to illustrate or demonstrate now is if I'm driving up an incline of any kind and at any stage we lose traction and the vehicle doesn't want to go forward again, we're going to start losing traction, and now we're going nowhere and we've got no choice but to go backwards. I've got my foot on the brake to ensure the bakkie is not going anywhere, and by using the rear view mirrors I will make sure that my clearance to the back is clean and clear. There's no one behind me. I ensure that the vehicle does not move backwards, and then I select reverse. Remember, this is an automatic vehicle, so I've still got downhill assist on, and I'm slowly letting go of the brake until I've got engine compression, and now without my foot on the brake I'm backing out of the obstacle so I can reassess the line that I must go. And currently I want to go show you what the reason was for me bogging up. I just need to get out of the vehicle, taking the safety belt off, and then once I'm ready to do that, we're going to have a quick inspection to see what the reason was that we got in trouble this side. So we go over here, we can see clearly that there's some black spin marks where I lost some rubber because of the losing traction, and that's where my left rear wheel was spinning, and at the front there you can see where my right front was spinning, so losing traction on two different wheels, and that's the reason why I could not clear the obstacle. So I'm going to do an assessment. I don't want to go the same route again, so a different line this time to see if I can clear this without having any trouble. But I did not fight the vehicle. It's unnecessary to continue trying to drive out of it if it's safer to back off and try again. So back into drive, and let's see, second time around I'm changing my angle and approaching the same incline and a different line and angle, and Bob's your uncle, across we go. And out the other end, remember, still with downhill assist and a safe exit out of the obstacle. Driving the 6-speed manual Mahindra pickup, approaching a first small ditch with a small incline that's following into a bigger incline uphill, and still driving in first gear low range. Remember, we're not going to use the brake, going down, engine compression only, and we approach. Now if anything goes wrong and we stall and we can't continue further and we get into a situation where we can't go forward, we're not going to kill the car. We're going to put the foot brake on, clutch immediately, make sure we are safe, and then I'm going to select reverse gear. I'm going to ensure that the clearance, by using the rear view mirrors, I'm going to ensure the clearance is behind me is clear, and letting go of the clutch and the brake very slowly, that we get engine compression braking going. And if the vehicle stalls, let's leave it there, and still in reverse we continue out until we are safely out. Don't press the clutch to let the vehicle roll back. And now we have to have a look, what is the reason for our stall situation. Let's go have a look, see what went wrong, and there should be some evidence. Where did we lose traction? And we can see in this case over here some black spin marks on the sand on the left rear wheel, Right front wheel also black spin marks, and that's the reason why we lost traction. So when we go back and we're going to reassess and take a different line, not onto the old track, because we're going to have exactly the same scenario. So we're getting back into the vehicle. Remember, we're going to continue in low range 4x4 until we are satisfied that there's no obstacles anymore. And we address it by taking a different line. Still a nice slow crawl speed approach, a little bit of assistance with the accelerator, not too much. Driving up the incline, different line, and this time great success. So remember, we don't have to kill the vehicle to get through. And it's just pretend, it's not for real. And we're going to be using, first of all, a tree protector, because I want to protect the tree. I don't want to take the bark off. So there's old blue gum here by me. I want to protect that as much as I can. I'm going to use a snatch block or a H block to assist me with the winch rope on the bucky, and I've got some heavy duty shackles here that we can have the system going. But before I'm going to do anything, I'm just going to prepare myself on 2 different trees here, that I can have a recovery point to 2 trees at a, because it's not huge trees. And I'm going to put my tree protector on the tree and make sure it's nice and straight. And we're using All Adventures accessory equipment. Just want to get some equipment out of here. Here is our tree trunk protector, just packaged like this. This is just a third one if I have to use a third winching point. And to protect the tree, I'm going to use both trees. The important part here is that your winching point is going to be as low as possible on the tree, because it would be stronger there, and I want this to be as straight as possible. Once we have our tree protectors in position, I'm gonna make sure to get the winch rope here, because I have to put the winch rope through the pulley before I lock it up. For this, I'm gonna start my vehicle, that I don't drain the battery when I operate the winch. The cable control for the winch, it's got a joining point right there on this specific model, right in the front on the vehicle here. And the clutch release for the winch is inside here. Oh my sister. And I'm going to ensure that I get enough rope. Due to the mud we've been in, it's a little bit of sticky. So I'm just going to assist myself with the winch rope, and seeing that it's a one-man recovery, I've got a bit of hard work to do. Okay, I'm putting the cable through the pulley, and then I'm going to attach it on the front end of my tree protector using the shackle. On the second one, I don't need currently don't need the shackle because I'm not winching to another third point. So just to get everything nice and tightly connected. And I'm going to make sure that I've got a decent point of recovery for my snap hook to go on. I need to lock the clutch up again for I'm using a 12,500 pound vinyl winch rope. And on this, okay, that's a pity. The moment I've got some tension, I'll be getting into the vehicle by putting my control through the window. And now the last thing before I start with my recovery is I want to make sure my winch rope is safe. So I'm adding my parachute over there, and just for safety's sake I'm gonna add some weight in it, that if something goes wrong it will stay down on the ground. So remember, I don't want to overwork the winch, so I'll be assisting the winch with the first gear low range, and as I start winching I will slowly drive forward as well to get myself out of trouble. But seeing that I'm using two trees, I've got to move the parachute to a different position. Otherwise I'm going to keep on winching until it's bogged up. So for safety's sake, let's just get it that way. And so I continue until I'm out of trouble. And I must drive again. So winching and driving. Okay, for the sake of the exercise, I'm just going to change the winch position and just show you a different angle of attack. Just want to extend it again. This rope needs to come out and be cleaned after all the mud we've been in the last 2 days. So in case that I only have one tree available and I will not be going to a second tree, I can be going back to the vehicle and have a double point recovery system. And now I'm just gonna reel it in until I've got a tight spot again. I'll explain it now. Okay. The parachute.
Yeah, the parachute.
What we use this for, and it can be replaced with blankets, jackets. In case of the cable or your winch cable or winch rope snapping, that will keep that down. It will weight it down and prevent it from whiplashing. So bystanders is safe. What we're going to do at all time, the length of the winch, so in this case double distance, that's how far any bystanders must be away. Now if we're winching from a position where I can have the bonnet open so I don't have to see where I'm going, I'll rather have the bonnet open as well, because to protect my windscreen and myself. But in this case I only had one tree, double up, so that's the way I will do it then. It all depends, and 90-degree angle like we just had. I've got a diagram in the book that I didn't memorize all the different tonnage capacity with the different angles, but as you go to angles, a 45-degree angle winch would be stronger than a 15-degree, and so on. But there is a nice table in the manual that show that to you and tell you what power you've got going. If we completely bogged up in mud that we stuck, I will not use the winch. I will either use the kinetic rope between two vehicles, or I will use a kinetic strap to do that. And we can use a snatch strap if it's stuck in mud. But there's a lot of, if you suck down into mud, there's a lot of spade work that's going to happen. You're going to have to maybe dig out a bit to get some mud under the car. But we had the situation 2-3 days ago. You'll see it in one of the video clips where we went down quite quickly, and luckily we didn't have to recover. I was able to drive the car out of the pit, but barely. So it was almost a situation where we had to do some deep diving. In most cases the angle is going to be a stronger winch, because you are moving towards, but like I said, I'm not going to elaborate on the tonnage and the weights. It's a bit of science that it is all in the table taken up in the book. So I'm just going to quickly recover, roll the winch out, roll it back in, and then we can do a snatch rope scenario between two vehicles for a later video. And we can also go, if we're on safari, if we get down to a real situation where we're stuck, we will see which method's going to work the best. For you can imagine if you're in the Namib desert dune driving and you get stuck in the sand, there's no trees available, so you're going to have to make other plans, and there's various of them. We'll demonstrate a few of them in future videos, because you can take your spare tire, your spare wheel, dig a nice big hole, hook that up with the winch, bury it, and winch yourself to a point where you've got traction again, and then just reverse the process, get your wheel unstuck. But there's various methods, and every time someone gets stuck, there's a new plan worked out because you don't always have all the equipment. But what I would suggest is if you have a basic recovery kit with a tree protector, at least 2 shackles, an edge block if you've got a winch on. If you don't have a winch, you must have a decent snatch rope or snatch strap or at least a kinetic rope. But in the convoy there must be at least 1 winch if you want to survive the safari, depending on where you're going. But that's in short a winch recovery from a difficult situation, and you didn't need a second vehicle. You can always do the preparation with your bridle on the front of the car already, fold it back over the bush bar, and then you're ready. You don't have to do deep diving if you have to get to the winch. The winch is already connected to your bridle, and you just bring that out to your contact point. Excellent. Thank you.